I'm going to start with XRP today, and this is on the daily. This is a chart I did a couple of weeks ago, and this is on the daily. So I'm zooming out to the daily, and I'm just looking at what's happening. Yeah, this blue line here is a long-term support line right from the very beginning of the XRP chart. Yeah, it's a fantastic line, but I'm going to take it out just for a moment, and I want you to notice the pattern here, the wave pattern. Yeah, so you got a bounce, a bounce, a lift, and a bounce. Yeah, so you've got a touch. Look at the support lines, the white lines. A touch, back onto the green line, which is the center line in this whole action, and then a touch again. So on the lift up is, you can see that this green line is the center line, and you've got this below, and then you have this above. Yeah, so you get a bounce up here, is back to the green line, back to the white line, back to the green line again. Now we've broken the green line. Okay, so that would suggest that we're coming back down to the white line again, which would be around 26,000 or so. Yeah, possibly even a little lower. So you can see as the pattern flows, is back to this line seems reasonable. Now, whether it does that or not is another thing. Seems reasonable. You can see this support line here, just touching it along. You can see these support lines here as well, touching it along, and possibly resistance lines. And again, this is the green line where when we break this again, the wave pattern will be off again. Yeah, so I'm just pointing this out. I'm going to zoom in now, but you can see the potential for another dip. So that's really what I'm pointing out. Yeah, so when I put the blue line back in again, again a double bottom is potentially here, but we could have a spill down to here. That's also very possible as well. Yeah. So now let's zoom in and have a look. Let me just take the indicators off there for a sec. Yeah. So when I zoom in, you can see the area I've covered in the triangle. Again, here's the support line, and again here's the support resistance line. So it's playing in this space. You can see this light blue line is a divergence line. So a divergence line that when it breaks, potentially for the breakup. But now this would be moved as it goes along until you get a clear breakup. So this doesn't confirm the breakup, but it is showing that there's a lift. Whether it's the breakup or not is another thing. So now I'm going to take this out just for now, and when we zoom in, again you can see that since the drop, here's the impulse, and we've been in a descending channel on the daily since. Yeah. So now here, this light line here is the center line of that, and then this green line is the center line of the descending channel. This green line, again, look at the top action, and then look at the bottom. So this is the center line of price action like this. Yeah. So now the question is have we topped out here, and are we going to break down again? Now, one of the reasons why I would argue that is that on the breakdown, on the previous spills, is you get 3 touches, 1, 2, 3 touches to the top. This one fails and it drops. That's what's happened previously. Here, and here, and here as well. 1, 2, 3. So you get that. You get those 3 touches. Yeah. So now that's one potential. Another potential is going to pop possibly up to the green line at 40.90. The white channel at 41.64. Now again, here's a touch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is a potential. 6, and then up we go. Yeah. Or 5, 6, 7, and down we go. Just as potentials. Yeah. It could pop out and head up to something more. Yeah. I know there's a target of the mid-50s due. Here we are at 43.74, and all the way up here would be 51.41. It just doesn't seem like it's done with this descending channel yet. Doesn't seem like it's done with it at all yet. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at on this. When I hop into the 4 hour on it, is the 4 hour is this is topped out at an impulse here. So I'm going to show you this here, yeah. So on this wave is the retrace back up is the 786. So at 40.042, this topped out the 786. And at the moment on the 15 minute, it looks like it's doing a triple top. If this holds, if this breaks, well then it's on further. Why might it go further? Because I am talking about this small wave here, but there's this wave here, this bigger one. So if I brought this up to here, is we could be looking at this continuing up to the 786 here, which is 42.3. So there could be a higher lift in it. Is why am I sticking to here for now? Because I think we're coming close to a breakout, and I'm looking at the pattern here. I'm looking at. I'll go back to this for a sec. When I put the fib on this, is the correction down from top to bottom. It's come to the golden pocket so far, yeah. It hasn't done a to me it hasn't done a sustainable support yet for the lift. It hasn't come down far enough for the lift. This descending channel is indicating that there's still more to go, yeah. However, when I look at Bitcoin looks terribly pumpy. Like Bitcoin looks like it's going to pump to 35,000 with ease. So I am cautious that it could go. If it did, I just put this here like this, just a simple one. If it did want to go out of this channel, like there's a lift to 47.6, and that would fit in with Bitcoin going 10% to 35,000. So for sure, you can have this breakout. What I'm minding at the moment is the pattern that it's in when it breaks down. This is where it breaks down. You get the three tops, it gets rejected here, and then it does a drop. So now why am I looking at this with the MAs, yeah? And I'll show you this. I'll do the 4 hour first. Okay, I'm going to do the 4 hour indicator. So the indicator's on. I want the drawings off. Okay, so one of the things I'm looking at is the 4 hour and the daily. Okay, so the 4 hour on the EMAs is previously on the rejections for the down. What happens is you get three tops and you get a push up to the 55 EMA on the 4 hour. You get a breakthrough and then you get a rejection, and it comes down. So at the moment it's holding that form, that it's leaving the door open for rejection. It creates this impulse and then drops. So rather than me doing the whole impulse for this one, I think it's coming to a tight end where this small impulse and then the drop. So this is what I'm looking at. So this is a very strong potential for the drop down. And again, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to pump. So I can see reasons why Bitcoin could come down, but there's far more reasons to look like it's going up. So I'm being quite mindful about my position here, which I'm going to tell you about in a moment. So I'm nearly done, Mihaela. I know I've got 5 minutes. So what am I looking at here is is on the daily, is here is price action being challenged by the 20 MA here. And at the moment it's spiked through to the 786, and there's a bit of a rejection at the moment. Now the day is young, so it could keep going, but at the moment the 20 EMA is holding this at the moment. Yeah, so this could be the turn. Potentially, you can see it got rejected at the 20 EMA on the daily here. It might want to pop up to 41.67, but again, there's also that 47 up here. It goes for that 10% pump. It absolutely could do that. It might even want to go and have a go at the 55 EMA on the daily at 51.35. Is it ready for that? I definitely think it's going up there, but is it ready for it? Is now the time to do it? The door is open for both. To me, the door is open for both ways at the moment. So what am I looking at? Last thing I'm going to say. Back to the 15-minute. The 15-minute at the moment is doing a triple top. So when I look at this wave, this impulse wave has definitely, I think it's definitely completed. Yeah, the smaller one, and for sure there could be, like, here's the 1, 2. There's the push away. Here's the W. Now the question is there a smaller W in here, and is this the first scoop, or 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop, and are we looking for a 4 and a 5? Okay. Or you've got on the impulse wave 1, 2, the push away, and then you can see that there's a W in here. And then you've got 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop. Now, so this would be wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 to the 786, which really fits in. And that now we have a 1, 2, and then a push away, and then we'll have our W and our scoops, 3, 4, something like this. I think back down to about 38.5 or so. Now this will be just on this small wave here, yeah. So I don't know. This definitely looks like it's due a correction, but I'm just not sure how strong this wave is with regards greater price action. Does it want to keep going up? We get a very weak correction here, and then it just keeps going, or this is the top. It does its correction here. It does a small weak pump, and then it just spills. It is totally, the door is open for both of them. So what have I done? Last thing I'm going to say. I took my profit very sweetly at 40. 40 down here, I took my profit. It spiked to 40.02, and I took my profit. I'm in a short at 39.90. I have my stop loss at 44.05. Just here, my stop loss just above. There's my stop loss there. This is for my short. I have my stop loss here. So if it breaks this, I'm going to come out and it'll be a 15% stop loss. And then I'll turn around. I'll head up on the breakup. Yeah, I'll give it a little bit of space first to see how far it wants to go. Again, if it continues down, I'll be looking for my target around 38.5. I'll take a portion of my profit there, and I'll look to see if it wants to do a weak impulse, and then down it comes. And a simple example would be, I've done. I've said what I'm going to say. I'll let it play out. So just one final thing. I know I said I was going to do one final thing, but just one more. Just relating it back to the conversations we've been having last week about price action. What's it playing off here? So for all these lines, there's this yellow line. Actually here, you can see the red channel here. So price action moving down, and then it travels down the white line, and then it starts to travel the yellow line, you know, and then it drops through the yellow line, and it drops back through the red line here. So now it's back up, back testing the red line, and here we are sitting under the yellow line again. So again, these are solid supports. If it doesn't break up through this and this continues to reject, is for sure I think we're going to come back into the red channel here, and we're heading back down to move this price a little bit now. We're heading back down to about 30, 35, 34 and a half, yeah, or so. So we'll see if it breaks up. See this here, breaks up back into the yellow channel. And look, here we have that target of 47.5. By the time it gets there, it'll be closer to possibly 48, 49. Yeah. So that's it there. That's what I'm looking at. So any questions? No questions. Okay. So I know it took longer, but it's Monday morning. We'll be doing a session London, New York, and then also we'll be doing the weekly review later tonight as well. So Mihaela, do you want to take over?
Sure. That was like 20 minutes, right?
Oh, was not, was it? Okay. Jesus, maybe this is Monday. Maybe this is the Monday review.
Now, I think we need a little bit more information about Monday for the Monday review. Again, it's just Monday morning. We still have to look at things.
Do you want to share today? Do you want to share a screen
in London and New York? Yes, until we see where the week is going. I start sharing my screen, and I'll start with Bitcoin.
Okay, there we go.
Now I closed all of my short position. And let's see. Can you guys see my screen? You can see my screen.
Yeah.
For some reason I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm going mute now, but yes, we can hear you.
Very good. Okay, so I'll start with Bitcoin, and I'll start with Bitcoin on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, we've had the 20 EMA crossing the 55 EMA, which is a great sign. And as you were saying, it looks like Bitcoin is going to go up to either the 35K range. If it's not going to be stopped at the 32 range. I'll switch over to the shorter time frame to see the support and resistance there. There is a local support and resistance that it couldn't break through, and it is the local support and resistance of this sideways channel. I think that's Michael taking notes. I'm going to watch to see what is going to happen here at this support and resistance line. In the meantime, it does look a little bit odd that it's only gone this far. Not that it's a small pump. It was a decent pump, but we are in the overbought on the 1 hour and on the 4 hour as well. And I am looking locally at shorting this small pump because the 15 minutes seems to have broken the divergence, and it hasn't yet gone above it yet. So this pump does need a correction in the short term, but in the medium, by medium I mean a couple of days, in the medium term for this week, I am looking at the 32.3.5 level to see what it's going to do. Again, it's how can I say, there seems to be how can I say, there is a momentum the momentum is not synced in with the price movement. The RSIs have moved up too quickly for this level. The 4 hour is already in the overbought. I expected the 4 hour to be in the overbought and to have reached at least the 32K. So I am mindful of this being not a very sustainable lift. It will need a correction. If it does come back for a correction, I'm looking at 30.5 for the correction level. And if that correction level doesn't hold, you know the story, I'm looking at 29.5 and then at 28.5. So we are, again, we haven't left this sideways channel. I know Bitcoin might look interesting with each and every pump it does, but if we zoom out, we are still in this sideways channel. We haven't left this sideways channel. We haven't gone anywhere yet. That's Bitcoin. At the moment, I am favoring a short for the correction of this wave. I have to see what's going to happen in New York session as well, just to make sure that that it will correct a decent amount. If I would be putting my stop loss at 32.3, this support and resistance level, because if it does break this one and hold it, then it does have the chance to continue up to the 35K. Now, Ethereum is in a similar situation, a bit more orderly in classical Ethereum style. It's been going up in this ascending wedge. We have been holding the 1750 level over the weekend, and then conquered the 1850 level. So we've gone above that, and we seem to be holding it. Now, Ethereum's level is 1950. So once we're above 1950, I am looking at 2300 for a possible target. I know there are some intermediary levels between 1950 and 2100. There's again another step. But once the 1950 is held, and I would say once the 1850 is held, 1950, 2100, and then 2300 for the targets upwards. Again, the word of caution, as with Bitcoin, so it looks great for a lift. We're holding levels. The MAs are also crossing. I'll show you the MAs as well on the 4 hour. So we have the 5 crossing over the 50 on the 4 hour, the 10 crossing over the 20. Great support coming. On the 1 day, we're meeting the 20 MA, which is generally a point of rejection. So if we get above it and do get to the 1950 level and hold it, 50 at 2330 would be a nice target. And if we get rejected, again 1700. The word of caution for Ethereum, as for Bitcoin, is the 4 hour in the overbought on the stochastic. The regular RSI is not that high for Ethereum, not as high as Bitcoin. But again, the momentum shows signs of getting tired. It doesn't mean that it can pump up to 2300, but it's just being mindful. It's just being mindful of that. And if you are going in a long, since it is holding levels, take your profits on the way up. You don't want a sharp reversal downwards and lose your profits. So if I were longing Ethereum, I would set my targets at if I'm longing Ethereum after 1800, I would set to take some profit at 1950, then 2100, and then at 2300. So I would take a little bit of profit at every level just to make sure none of them, does a sharp rejection and takes my profits. So these are my levels up and my levels down. Once we see today's move in London and New York, we might have a bit more information about the week. If we do correct this way and we hold levels, so if Ethereum goes to let's say 1950 and then retraces back to 1850 and holds it, then chances are we're going to continue upwards. Just the way Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does go back and correct to 30,500 and hold it, 35K looks like an achievable target. But yeah, that's it from me. I'll be posting all of these on the chat. And if you guys have any questions, let me know.
That's excellent. Thanks, Mihaela. Great session. Excuse me. Great session. Yeah, if there's let's say goodbye for this session, and we can have, if anybody does have questions, we can continue on now, but we can edit it out for the YouTube upload. Yeah. So thanks very much, and we'll chat later today. Yeah.
Have a good one.
All right.